Stephanie Thompson wants everybody to know that confidence comes from within, not confidence generally. Hers, the unbothered kind, the kind that doesn't need a single stranger's approval to function, the kind that sits quietly inside a person and asks nothing from anybody. She wrote 3 whole paragraphs about it, then she wrote a fourth. The fourth one is addressed to a man she calls the mofo, and it's about how he read her pupils wrong. So, the post declaring independence from your opinion shipped with a footnote correcting your opinion. Attached. Same caption, same breath. We are 0 comments deep and the thesis has already fallen over. It gets worse for her because she then went into those comments. Not once, not in a panic, not because some mob kicked her door in. She went in and worked the thread like a thrift supervisor. And she left timestamps on every reply. 3 of them sitting there telling on her. Word for word, because this one has to be hard exactly as typed. Confidence is within. Feeling beautiful only because others tell you that you are isn't genuine. I get that people look at me and see aged and worn. I see a woman who's fought so many silent battles and won everyone with her head held high. And I see a woman that never fixated on skincare, makeup, or doing anything and everything to slow an inevitable aging process. Side note to the mofo who can't read my eyes correctly. I find it hilarious people keep thinking my eyes pattern is blown pupils. My eyes are two-toned, as my daughter puts it. They have green and then what looks like a son of a brown in the middle of it. It's hard to explain. And I'm terrible at taking pictures of my eyeballs, lol. 2 selfies attached her face twice, just in case the eyes came up.
So in Stephanie's newest post, she is talking about confidence and beauty. And I'm not reading all this, you guys. You guys have eyeballs. You guys can read it. But I see a woman that never fixated on makeup, on skincare, makeup, or doing anything, blah, 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 blah. Does she think that we forgot about the red light mask and the 500 serums that she's had in the past 2 years? Does she think that, we didn't see that with our own eyeballs? Speaking of eyeballs, she wants to talk about two-toned brown eyes. No, baby, them bitches are blown.
Now back up to the mirror up there. People look at me and see edged and worn. Nobody said that. No commenter typed it. There is no screenshot of anybody saying it. She sat down, opened the app, and wrote the insult herself so she would have something to beat in the following sentence. She's playing both lawyers. She filed the complaint, she argued against the complaint, and she declared herself the winner. And the entire trial happened inside one caption before a single outside human was allowed in the building. Undefeated, obviously. Hard to lose when you're also the other guy. The unbothered internal confidence went out with their four hashtags on it. Edging is beautiful, why stop, the process, resilient Jenkins, resilient Mama Jenkins. Something that generally lives inside you doesn't need a searchable label. Hashtags have exactly one function, which is dragging in strangers who were not already watching. She tagged the edging conversation to get placed inside it. She tagged the movement she wants mentorship in. Then she tagged her brand name. Then she tagged the second, longer version of her brand name in case the first one missed anybody.
Stephanie, why are you always lying? Why? You said, I see a woman that never fixated on skin care, makeup, or doing anything and everything to slow an inevitable aging process. Bitch, you're always doing your skincare in the camera. What do you mean you're not fixated on skincare? Why do you fucking lie about everything? You do not feel beautiful. You're not comfortable in your own skin. You put loads of gaudy ass makeup on, not even well, and then you're gonna lie and say you're not fixated on skincare? Bitch, you're doing skincare in every fucking video. You put skincare over getting a job and getting out of that motel for your kids. Shut the fuck up.
Nobody has ever cried in private and then tagged it. That's not a feeling. That's a product listing. Never fixated on skincare and makeup. That's an enormous thing to say out loud when there is 2 years of your own footage sitting on your own page. The red light mask, we watched that. The serums, and there have been so many serums arriving in shipments, getting swatched, getting explained, stacking up on the counter for about 2 years now. The routines filmed in front of the camera over and over as content on purpose because she posted them. She did not do any of that in secret. She did it as an activity for an audience. Buy the serums, buy 60 of them, wear the mask until you glow in the dark. No woman owes anybody a relaxed attitude about getting older, and none of that would be a story on its own. Deciding it never happened to be a different move.
Well, it looks like Drew Jenkins is cheating on Stephanie Thompson again. Because every time Stephanie Thompson does any kind of self inspirational, I know, I have internal confidence is inside. Every time she does any kind of motivational workout thing, every time she tries to share any beauty tips, either Drew Jenkins is cheating on her with another woman via text, DM, or she's actually have evidence of Drew Jenkins cheating on her. So one thing for certain, two things for sure, a cheating man's always going to cheat. And the only reason why Drew Jenkins is still there is because he's all over Beyonce's internet now. Everybody in Portland knows who Drew Jenkins and Stephanie Thompson is because of her virality. And unfortunately enough, it just makes it harder for Drew Jenkins to leave. That's why every time he looks at her, he can't stand her.
Forgetting isn't even on the table for her here. She's rewriting the record in front of the only group of people on earth who sat through the original. She's lying to the witnesses in their own comment section, which is a choice. Somebody got up under that post and said this: "What truly matters is your inner beauty." And for me, that's what's not cute. 110 likes. 110. Nobody reaches 110 by seeing one bitter person in a corner. A whole room read that, agreed with it, and went on the record about it. Stephanie replied, her name with the little author badge right next to it. So there is no confusion about whose thumbs those are. I'm sorry you feel that about yourself. You don't know enough about me to be talking about like that enough, though. 5 laughing faces on it. She stepped into a fight she was losing 22-1 on her own turf and stayed for the whole round. That's the first problem. The second problem is what that reply actually contains, because those two sentences are doing opposite jobs. Sentence 1 is the serenity move. I'm sorry you feel that way about yourself. Very peaceful, very floating above. Sentence 2 is her arguing the case. You don't know enough about me to be talking about me like that. If it truly bounced off, it ends at the first sentence and she goes back to her evening. Instead, she came back for the rebuttal, which means she read it properly, ranked it as wrong, and needed the person to understand they had been ruled against.
He can give two fucks as to how many children he has with Stephanie Thompson, because he would do the exact same thing he did to Moneymaker Manova and to Atlas. He will abandon them the exact same way he abandoned his oldest child. The only reason why he held on to D is because D was his meal ticket. That was the only reason why. And he only took D with him after his mother begged him to do so. Yeah, so the reason why Stephanie Thompson is doing this self-confidence post, y'all, is because she caught homosexual Drew cheating on her again. Okay, once a cheating homosexual, always a cheating homosexual, because number one, homosexuals are not meant to work, and Drew Jenkins can only work for so long. Number two, a homosexual, especially a narcissistic homosexual that are only concerned about their own survival, they will cut off their children if it no longer serves their purpose. I know. Okay? I know. Personal experience, I know. Number three. Once again, Drew Jenkins is not meant to work. He does not want to work. He does not enjoy working. He's only working so that he can pay child support and so that he can make himself look good in the eyes of his next couch. Once Drew Jenkins finds his next couch, futon, chair, whatever the fuck it is, he will leave Stephanie Thompson and abandon those two kids like he's done to his oldest child. You can't turn a homosexual into a head of household. You absolutely cannot. I know from personal experience.
There is nothing internal happening anywhere in that. She's keeping score and she's keeping it in public. Now look at when she pressed send. 38 minutes ago, 37 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago, 3 replies, 3 different people, all landing in a side window of roughly 3 minutes. Read the order backwards and you can see the room she was sitting in. She came in, opened a post that was already a full day old, started at the bottom, worked her way up, handled everybody who needed handling, and was out in about the time it takes to boil an egg. Nobody gets ambushed on a schedule. She wasn't dragged into anything. She showed up for it. Call it what it was, a shift. She clocked in, cleared the queue, hit her numbers, clocked out. And she did it on a day old material, which is the part that really finishes the confidence argument off because and but that people don't remember what they posted yesterday. They can't find it. It's gone. It never enters their head again. She had it bookmarked. The next reply in the same sweep is the best one because she dismantles her own thesis in it and doesn't feel a thing. Somebody took a clean shot at her eyes. I did not know bloodshot was a color. 27 likes. Her answer: my eyes always look bloodshot and tired when I'm not wearing mascara and liner. It used to annoy me, but I got used to it. Say that back with the confidence post still open. That woman who never fixated on makeup and has just explained that her eyes photograph wrong, specifically because the mascara and the liner aren't on. She reached for the makeup voluntarily, put it on the stand as a character witness for her defense, roughly a day after announcing that makeup was never a thing she cared about. Then she keeps going and handles over the rest of it. It used to annoy me. Annoyed by what exactly? Something internal? A feeling that arrived from within? No. Strangers looking at her face, getting it wrong. Their precise dependency, she opened that post by denying, typed out by her own hands in under 30 seconds in a reply box, unprompted. Nobody trapped her. She built the trap, tested it, and stood in it. There's a third reply in that 3-minute run, and this one shuts the last door. Here's the comment she chose to answer. My eyes are different colors too. Mostly green, but they go hazel, sometimes blue and gray. One like. One, somebody's aunt, sharing a completely pleasant fact about her own eyeballs, buried in a thread with hundreds of comments in it, sitting on a single acknowledgement from a single human being. Stephanie found it. Stephanie replied, that's what mine do. It really depends on lighting. So the whole self-defense story collapses right there because nobody has ever been attacked. With Hazel, there was nothing to fend off. She wasn't fighting for her dignity in the trenches. She was reading the entire thread line by line, including the friendly ones, including the invisible ones, including the ones with one line on them. She wasn't defending herself. She was taking attendance. 12 hours before that sweep, she posted her dinner. I meant to post this hours ago, but I'm not going to waste the pictures. We had chicken Alfredo for dinner. I'm just starting my evening reset. I hope everyone had a great Saturday. Good night. Tagged dinner, tagged chicken Alfredo. 84 likes, 351 comments, 1 share. 351 comments on pasta. When your comments overturn your like 4 to 1, that's not a post doing numbers. That's a queue forming outside a building. Nobody's stopping to admire anything. They're stopping to say something. And the gap between those two figures is the sound of a room getting louder. The caption already told us why she opened the doors anyway. The pictures existed. That's the reason. Not because it came out well, not because anybody asked, just that photos had been taken and photos that get taken must be deployed. So the room went to work. Why is the chicken always gray? Always 14 likes. That single word is the most damaging thing in the entire thread because always means there's a back catalog. People have seen enough of these dinners to have built a category for them. By chicken, do you mean rat? 37. No, really. The chicken is pink and gray. 42. I've never in my life seen chicken Alfredo look like that. 36. Out here making a ball of stuff. It's giving prison food. One person showed up with that technically reads as a compliment. Damn girl, you really throw down in the kitchen. It has 11 reactions and every last one of them is a laughing face. Even the nice comment was a beat and the audience caught it instantly. Then somebody escalated into a completely different spot. Holy crap. First off, that's spaghetti. Second, you always mix it all together. You don't lay it on top too. Too many things to list. Please stop. Photo of correct.
For owning a phone.
Walk through that. Corrected the pasta shape, corrected the method, announced the problems were too numerous to list, said please stop, then attached a reference photograph of correct noodles. That's not a comment section anymore. That's a peer review. Somebody submitted revisions with a supporting image and did it for free. Another one landed the whole diagnosis in a single line without meaning to, right? Because if you don't post it, it did not happen. 29 people agreed. Nothing in that house counts until it's uploaded. The pasta, the evening reset, the good night, her own face twice in one setting. Everything goes through the same door, gets looked at, gets looked at, gets argued about, and the argument is what makes it real. She says the confidence is private, internal, hers alone. Then she photographs her face, photographs her dinner, announces her reset, tells us goodnight, files all of it under hashtags built for strangers, and comes back a day later to correct those strangers one at a time in 3-minute shifts. Confidence doesn't need a jury. It doesn't return the next morning for the verdict. It certainly doesn't chase down the comment with one like on it. She hasn't built confidence. She's built a loop. Post it, watch it, correct whoever got it wrong, walk away having won. The loop only spins if we're standing in it, and she can never admit that out loud because admitting it switches the machine off. The boast about not needing us was written for us. There was nobody else in the room. There never was. There never is. Somebody put it in 8 words and 93 people agreed, which makes it the top comment on the entire dinner post. You should have absolutely wasted the pictures. She won't. The pictures were never the content. We are.